So in this lecture, we're just going to be showing you how to add in your own shapes and your own custom color palettes. So what do I mean by that? So if you remember, if we just go into the last workbook we made, if you remember, we actually used shapes here for our navigation links. And we also used the default colors for our dashboards, which Tableau gave us. Now, if I go into this sheet here, you can see we use this arrow here, and clicking on the shape gives us these palettes. Now, what we want to do is assign custom palettes. So for example, I have my own custom palette here called Shiny Flags. That's very easy. All you need to do is find what you call your My Tableau repository. Now, this is something which Tableau creates itself. So it creates this file when you install Tableau, and usually it creates it in your documents. If it's not there, all you need to do is just simply search for it in your folder, in your computer. Once you've found My Tableau repository, the way that you change your shapes, there should be a folder called Shapes. You double click to go in, and you can see there's a folder there for all of the shape palettes. So you can see my Shiny Flags folder is there. I double click, and you'll see all my flags are in there as PNGs. Go to Gender, PNGs, and go to this one, PNG. So, quite simply, all you need to do, add a new folder in, title it My Shapes or whatever, My New Shapes, whatever you wanna call it. And then I'm just gonna grab these two here. You just paste in your pictures, and you need to make sure that they are a .png file. JPEGs might work, I'm not sure, I've never tried them, but if they don't, then just change them to PNG. And then you have one more step left to do. You go back to your Tableau, you click on Shape, and then you click Reload Shapes, and then it should be in there. There we go, My New Shapes, and there they are. And that's all you need to do to add in custom shape palettes. Now, colors on the other hand are slightly different. So if we click on color, go to edit color, you'll see we have a whole bunch of color palettes here. And again, you can see I've got my own one down here called Eurovision 2016. So how do I get that in there? That's a little bit harder. It's the same folder, so My Tableau repository. And in this folder, you'll see something called preferences.tps. Now, rather than double clicking and opening this, because what happens is this is saved as a Tableau preferences file. So that's something which I've not mentioned before. What you can do is you can set up your own color schemes and preferences, and you can save it as a Tableau preference file, and you can send it to another user, and they can just link directly into that and use the same one. In this case, we're going to right click on it, and I'm going to open it with a notepad. And it gives me these preferences here. Now, all you need to do to add a new color palette is copy and paste. Well, in this case, that's not going to be there for you, so let me just take that out. That's what yours should look like. And in between where it says preferences and then / preferences, this is where you're going to be putting your color palettes. Now, in this case, my color palette is called Eurovision 2016. It's a regular color palette, and then I only have 2 colors in it. Quite simply, all you need to do is type in what I've typed in here, but instead of typing in the name, you need to type in your own name here. So I'm just going to put your name here. You type in regular, and I'll explain what that means in a second. And then you just type in the color hex key here. Okay. So the color hex key should take this form of a hashtag, followed by a letter, followed by a number, followed by a letter, and then 3 numbers. So, and then do not change anything else. So make sure you've typed everything exactly how it appears here on my screen. And you don't even need to have an indent here, so you can just have it like that. I've just got an indent there because it just looks easier. So I'm not going to save that. I'm just going to open that again. So what do I mean by regular here? So what I mean by that is you can either pick this color or you can pick this color. It's not a sequential color. So if I go back to this, go to my color palette, it basically means I've got two colors to pick from. It's a regular color palette, much like these ones here. These are what you call regular color palettes. A sequential is one of these here, which basically goes from different shades. And the reason that that's different is because you may end up using one of these color palettes for doing, have we got an example like this one here? You may end up using a sequential color palette for a chart like this, where it goes from a range, the color goes from a range. So that's slightly different. That just means all you do there is just put in all your color values that you want, and then you just type that in sequential there. And that's how you do color palettes. So the best thing to do is to just get a pro forma like this, copy and paste it down like so, and just add in all your color palettes here like so. Okay, that's color palettes and that's custom shapes. Thanks for watching guys, and I'll see you soon.